Detail. Octane. Hut. Post. afternoon, folks. I'd like to tell everybody thank you for coming. And, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stanley Ball, and Mark Lewis was my friend. Many of you may be wondering why I was asked to speak about Mark today, and I'll tell you from what I remember about the conversation. Kathy stated to me that it was only appropriate to have a speaker that is as amazing about speaking as Mark was a person. Just kidding. So when Kathy actually called me and asked me to speak about Mark, I can honestly say that I was humbled and honored. The chance to be able to speak about my friend, fellow Marine, and a man of Mark's caliber, I will forever be grateful to you. Thank you. Mark and I worked together at TSA for 18 years, and over those 18 years, he and I had called each other many names over those 18 years. And not those names, but names like Gunny and Marine, Leatherneck, Boss, FSD, and my personal favorite, Devil Dog. But the one I will cherish and honor the most being called by Mark is his friend. Mark and I share a brotherhood that's just as strong today as it was when it was created in a bar some 248 years ago. That's right, on November 10th, 1775, Tun Tavern, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the United States Marine Corps was born. The challenge of being the best, getting paid to shoot guns, blowing stuff up, and all the free ammo you could want, and being born in a bar was more than enough for Mark and I and other Marines to say, where do we sign up? And sign up we did, both of us. Both of us were told, you're gonna go to Hollywood. You're gonna be Hollywood Marines. I mean, how bad could that be, right? So, years apart, we arrived at the Marine Corps Receiving Depot in San Diego with both of us thinking that first night there, my God, what have I done? And this looks nothing like Hollywood. I will say this, the Marine Corps is difficult. It's not easy. From day one, the Marine Corps begins to mold you into cold, hardened steel, thus becoming the tip of the spear. The Marine Corps teaches you how to be tough on one hand and at the same time caress with the other. Juggling this demeanor can be difficult at best, but it was on full display during the 1989 Bay Area earthquakes. While people were stranded on bridges, homes, office buildings, and collapsed freeways, Mark and his team of Marines, with complete disregard for their own safety, sat their helicopter down numerous times in areas where it should not have been in, and in some where it barely fit in. While Kathy was there in California and at the same time seeing all the utter destruction, she also seen these helicopters and these people rescuing other people. She never thought that one of those heroes inside those helicopters would eventually become her soulmate. So if that's not a love story, I don't know what is. Anytime Mark and I would get together, we would always share stories about the stupid things we did together in the Marine Corps, like encouraging other Marines that were streaking through the barracks on field day and cleanup day to see how far they could slide on the soapy barracks floor. Or how Mark's helicopter would always break down in a desirable area so that he could go get great food and some great beer, or how it would always take multiple days to get parts in to fix that helicopter. So coincidence, I'm sure. For those of you wanting to know, or those of you who want to actually challenge the slip and slide record, it's about 6 barracks doors long, but that measurement's not official. So. Mark was a man who accomplished many great things. He was a great person, great brother, great son, great father, great husband, great family member, great FSD, and to me, he was a great Marine and great leader, and also a great friend. From the very first meeting I ever sat in with him leading it, I knew he was all about the troops and the TSOs, and if you were not on board with that, you'd best get on board, because this was not negotiable to him. Mark always had the troops in mind when making decisions that were going to affect them. Living without him is going to be hard. There are going to be many times in each of our lives on numerous occasions where it's going to hurt not having him physically with us. It's going to hurt a lot. Many of you may even feel alone at times, like the helicopters that he flew in, who were quickly running out of fuel with no land in sight. But make no mistake, even in this situation, Mark would have never panicked. Mark was always calm while under pressure, and whose demeanor was difficult to judge. When speaking with Mark, it was always hard to tell if he'd just lost his dog or opened up a new bottle of his favorite whiskey, which is Jack Daniels for those who don't know. But in every situation, Mark would always figure out a solution and have a backup plan to everything. Mark was a guardian, a warrior, in essence, a modern-day Spartan. Mark was someone who you would follow to hell and back because he would never ask others to do what he would not do himself, not at any rank or any title he ever held. This family has that same blood coursing through your veins. Leonie, wanting and learning to fix Bernie on your own not only gave your father comfort that you could take care of yourself, but it also added to the list of many things that he respected and admired about you. Nicholas, having helped take your father to his treatments, not only helped him have a better quality of life and cope with the stress better, even on the rough days of treatment, he has always cherished the time he was able to spend with you. The extended time you helped give your father is irreplaceable, and as Mark's friend, I'll forever be indebted to you for it. Thank you just seems not enough and falls short. I'd also like to tell Kathy how happy I am that Mark had you. You brought Mark happiness, support, loyalty, affection, and most of all, love. Find a Marine anywhere that's married, and we will all tell you that we've married out of our league. Our wives are all stronger people than we will ever be, and not one of us could live with someone like us. We have our quirks. We want things done the way we want them done. We're OCD. We're a difficult bunch to live with and put up with, but you amazing women do it and never complain. I know you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway, Kathy. Mark absolutely loved you. There's no quote that states, without love, living is easy, but it's meaningless. And Mark loved all of you here today. He loved all of you. So the next time you're out, you see a helicopter somewhere, I hope you think of Mark, and I hope it brings a smile to your face. When you turn on the evening news and you see people being rescued on their worst days, I hope that you think that there are people like Mark Lewis willing to risk their own life every time they go up in the bird to save the lives of others. The next time you travel and go through our nation's airports, I hope that you remember that once again, Mark Lewis's call to service is still keeping the traveling public safe after 40 years. I hope you all take the things that you admire about Mark and carry it on in your personal and professional lives. And by doing this, you will create what Mark strived for, which is a better working environment and world to live in. And although we may not physically be able to see him right now, his values, what he stood for, and the love of his country will live on, just like the words that were so affectionately placed inside the walls of a 120-year-old home that he and Wesley spent their first alone time together working on. His words will continue to inspire future generations upon discovery. And as I close, from this day forward, Mark Lewis, I and other Marines will toast you every Veterans Day and Marine Corps birthday. The TSOs will tell stories and reminisce of times when they too served together with a great warrior leading from the tip of the spear in an effort to defend this great nation against the evils of this world. Your family and Marines will tell future generations of the man you are and what you have done. You will never, ever be forgotten, because we happy few, we band of brothers. Fair winds and following seas, double dog, semper fi.
Sorry. thinking of what I wanted to say today, I felt as though I was at a loss for words. How do you sum up a love and a life so big? I initially wrote this as my last little love letter to my dad. And I wanted to share it with you today to give you a small glimpse of how wonderful of a father and person he was. Dad, you were my universe. These last 2.5 years with you felt indescribable. There were a lot of tears and sadness and unknowing, but the love and laughter outweighed those, which really helped carry us through the harder days. That's what you did. You always made us laugh, even when you felt your worst, because you always wanted to put a smile on our faces. During your final days as you were laying in your bed, unable to eat or walk, you asked me, is there anything you need? Can I make you any breakfast sugar? You were always taking care of me. And there wasn't a single day you forgot to tell me you loved me and you were proud of me. And this time with you really was so beautiful. I had so much one-on-one time with you and got to really know you, which felt like such a gift to me. You taught me to not take things too serious, to always be kind, to forgive and be understanding, to work hard and play harder, to always car dance when I get the chance. Your perseverance and strength is something I'll always admire and look up to. You helped me rebuild Bernie's entire engine and helped Wes and I rebuild our 130-year-old house, all while receiving over 70 rounds of chemo. You were superhuman, but I always saw you as superhuman. In my eyes, there was nothing my dad couldn't do. And you were humble about everything. In your last weeks of life, you wanted to buy coats, hats, blankets, and food for the homeless. You barely had strength to walk through the store. Nick helped hold you up and gather the things you wanted, and we got those items to homeless shelter just before a storm hit. That's who you were, selfless, and always taking care of others, even when you felt so sick. I hope to be half the human you were, Dad. I felt closer to you these last few years than ever before, which felt fleeting and bittersweet. To be honest, a life without you, and it feels unimaginable. You told me to live my life big, and to not let your death define me. But the truth is that this has completely defined every aspect of my life. I've learned how short this life is, and that tomorrow isn't promised. To love the people around you and to be kind. I didn't get enough time with you, Dad, and I'll always wish I had more. I hope being reunited with Tony was as beautiful as you imagined. They can picture the big bear hug shared between the two of you, and I know Tony was waiting for you. It was my greatest honor helping to care of you, Dad. You fought so hard, and I'm so unbelievably proud of you. I couldn't dream up a better example or a more loving father. Thank you for the beautiful life you've given me. You told me to look up at the moon and the stars, and then I'll see you there. And that's exactly what I'll do until the day we are reunited. I love you, Dad.